You know what? I'll answer first. My highlight of COVID has been actually hanging out with my 23-year-old baby. Yeah. We hang out, we cut the grass together.
I actually told him,
We watch movies almost every night.
I told him that I was really glad
He
that...
comes for a car ride whenever I go somewhere. It's like, I'll come. Okay, fine.
Nothing else to do.
I got nothing else to do.
I told him that I was really glad that COVID happened while he was still living at home.
Oh, imagine. Well, I think a lot of people that have bigger kids that are in university, they came home.
Yeah. No, a bunch of my friends, their kids came home.
I feel like when a kid's gone, that's it. Like,
Some of them...
locks are changed. I know that wasn't the case with my parents. I came back many times. And I brought people and friends and Vicky and
What
a
was
child.
my favorite part of COVID? Yeah, I would say hanging out with Jordan.
Wow, you just piggybacked off me.
No, you asked me, and it took me a few minutes to think about it. Were you here the other day when he gave me my 20 seconds, like, without even asking?
Vicky has been trying to, he's not a very touchy-feely person, and so she has tried to commit him to 20 minutes of physical
20
touch.
seconds. 20 seconds.
Oh, 20 seconds. 20
him,
minutes would be absolutely ridiculous.
That would be crazy. I told him that I read a
For
study,
everyone.
or that I heard a study that everybody needs 20 seconds
20 seconds.
physical touch. It might have been orphans, like babies.
It might have been dolphins.
Could have been dolphins.
It might have been possums. Rescued raccoon babies.
And
but
so
you're applying it to this
I
situation.
told him
Very
we
good.
need 20 seconds of physical touch, and then I would try to hug him, and I'd wind up in like a headlock. I feel like we've already talked about this
Tickle fight.
on this particular method
Is he
of communication.
getting more touchy though?
So I was sitting at the end of the table, and he walked by to like let the dog out or let the dog in or something, and then grabbed me from behind, but like without hurting me.
Like, I'm almost 100% positive he's never watched one of these. He's been
He's not
over
gonna watch
there
it.
in one of these.
He
But
listens
what
and
has been
rolls his
happening
eyes.
lately, he's been punching me. And it's like, I know it's a source of love and affection. Like, that is what men do. It's like, hey, how you doing? And he's hitting me all the time. And it's not like a little hurt. Like it, and then he's like, "Ugh." And I'm like,
Are you
all right.
beyond having to hit
I'm
him
like,
back?
okay, stop touching me.
Are you beyond having to hit him back?
No, I've hit him back.
No, but when you'll see your maturity when you don't have to hit him
No,
back.
I don't have. Okay.
Just saying, we can move
I'm
on.
not gonna
Okay,
defend myself on that one.
June 6th.
What would if you had to pick a weapon? And I don't mean a gun. What weapon would you take to a battle? I just noticed a sword back there. Swords are cool.
That's your
What
sword,
weapon would
and
you take? Would you take a slingshot? Would you take a club?
No.
Ironing
No.
board?
I'm not going to go. Like, I'm not
How
going.
about
I'm going to stay home and drink my coffee.
I would take a whip, a bull whip, like Indiana Jones.
Stop it. You wouldn't.
My friend Salem, he
This has conversation.
Americans love weapons, but Salem had a bullwhip, and he could snap it over people's, like, it was very intimidating. I could never do it. I hurt myself. Anyway, I think everybody is a superhero. They can picture themselves as a superhero, and they need a weapon, I feel. I don't think most superheroes do have weapons. They are the weapon.
I think
I would have a bullwhip. You think it's a better time to move on?
I think most people right now use their words as weapons on social media.
You're going there.
Anyway,
Yeah.
I'm trying not
words
to go
can
there.
be weapons.
I am trying
It's horrible
to
when you can't post something on.
pause and pray and reflect more than
Those are good ideas. Pause.
I really think, like, yeah, I'm being surprised by things that I'm reading.
Social media.
Yeah, and I've always read a lot, and I've read a lot of like historical novels, and like and yet there's still things that I'm reading that I'm really shocked and surprised by, and I feel
There's
like
so much hate and contempt.
and there's really much more than I realized. I had no idea, and so I'm just reading and reflecting and pausing and praying and yeah,
Reflect,
yeah,
pause, and pray.
yeah.
That should be a coffee mug.
The gift of readiness.
Ready, Freddy.
We're entirely ready to have God remove all these defects of character. Step 6 of Al-Anon, which came from AA,
Mm-hmm.
right? So
Yes.
that would be originally from the book of AA. We're entirely ready to have God remove all these defects of character. We progress to the 6th step by working diligently to the best of our ability on the first 5 steps. This work readies us for a change of heart, an openness to becoming changed by a power greater than ourselves, God. The path to this willingness can be long and hard. Many of us have to struggle with a behavior or feeling before we become ready to let it go. We need to see over and over again that the coping device that once protected us is no longer useful. The defects of character referred to in step 6 are old survival behaviors that once helped us cope with people, life, and ourselves, but now they're getting in our way, and it is time to be willing to have them removed. Trust in this time. Trust that you are being readied to let go of that which is no longer useful. Trust that a change of heart is being worked out in you. God, help me become ready to let go of my defects of character. Help me know in my mind and soul that I am ready to let go of my self-defeating behaviors, the blocks and barriers to my life.
Amen.
There's so many people. I don't know if this happens in AA, but there are so many people in CODA, like Codependents Anonymous. Probably, like, I'm trying to remember if it was like that when I was back in the rooms back many years ago, but that really don't, and in other programs that I've been into, they don't want to talk about defects of character. They want to focus on the positive. I need to just focus on the positive. I don't want to be down on myself, like, and I understand that it's coming from a place of wanting to like build up self-esteem, because I think it's often people who've struggled with low self-esteem, and that's been an issue, and that's why they've accepted less than good for themselves in their life, and put themselves in harm's way. And yet, the freedom of trusting that you are being ready to let go of that which is no longer useful. It's not and in getting rid of those things, that's how like the good, even more good in me can like,
but even as people
rise to the
focus
surface.
on the good, it's still self.
Yeah.
It's still selfishness.
And it's like selfishness.
What we were even talking earlier, but and I was saying I had this moment of clarity, this awakening to all of my actions, my whole entire life was to get me to the point of drinking. So everything I did, the way I acted, the way I treated people, was all to, at some point, get reprieve from that. And it's like, oh, where's my good? And it's like, even my good was manipulative, or even my good brought me to a place of, and I think that God, Spirit, makes good within us. And so this is super important because it blocks us from the Spirit of God. And so I have all of these things that I've created, my reputation, my character, all of these things to continue to use to keep me safe, to defend myself, and to keep me sick. And I think that, and I would put it out there. I know that no one can argue with me right now, so I can put it out there that I think that there's this concept of starting to work against myself. And it just says, have God remove all of these defects of character. So when I start to work against myself, it's all about self, and it's all about trying to get me better. And it's still like behavioral management. So my defects, as I'm coming into recovery, I have all of this self, but I need God to remove it. So as soon as I start putting in behavioral techniques.
It sounds like you're arguing with me, but that's what
No, I'm not
saying.
arguing with you.
And then I said, as God, I didn't word it that way, but as God removes the defects of character, I mean, if you take darkness, like a shade away, there's more room for my true, like my true character, we're replacing it with even more goodness and light, right? Like if I remove anger and selfishness and hate, there's going to be more joy and love and patience and tolerance and kindness and
as I'm emptied of self, I'm filled with God.
You're filled with God, and
just because I believe in God, it doesn't actually give me access to God. Think about that one. So I have to be dead, emptied of myself, And Jesus says, pick up my cross and die every day. And I think like character defects, they come back, and just put somebody behind the wheel or behind your social media account, and you'll see the character defects come up. Like when I'm reading stuff and I'm like, oh my goodness, that guy's like so innocently posted something and everybody's attacking him. I just want to be like, and so all these character defects. I find when people drive, character defects. Maybe that's a guy thing. I don't know. But I know that
was an important step in your history.
Oh my goodness. I remember the transition of God taking away defects of character, and a lot of them came out in my driving. And I can truly say today that I understand the law of reaping and sowing. I let people in front of me in a kind of a, maybe in an old man kind of way.
I don't care.
And it's like,
I like
and they're going like this, but I'm calm when I drive. I'm not like aggressive. And I always said the best defense to driving is aggressive driving. And safe, because I'm a professional driver.
Whatever.
I'm not like you other people.
You justified it in many ways.
Yes, there's so much. I need to write a book about the road traffic.
And how the road and traffic brings out and just puts like this magnifying glass on a person's true character.
Oh, so true. So are we ready and willing to have God remove all of these things that I've created out of my addiction and out of self? And so
and I think that
it's a good reflection.
There was definitely a moment in 10 whatever plus years ago when I realized that I was this I was this giving person who had given so much in my life for so many other people. And there was a moment where I realized, oh, wow, I did that really selfishly. I did that for reasons that actually were like to benefit me, not actually for your benefit. Like I was actually trying to get something out of it for me.
Well, even growing up and creating this character, and they're all defense mechanism. And if I continue to operate out of that, I actually need reprieve. I need a break. And this is where I'm not spiritually fit. And so when I'm operating out of self and these character defects that I've created out of my family of origin, it's created the need to be soothed. And so that's what I need to be willing to let go of. And then, yeah, that's good. I'm going to carry that all day. All right, have a good Saturday. It's beautiful outside. Drink a coffee, pet a pug, and be willing to have God remove your character defects. In Jesus' name.
When you were talking, he was playing.